Excellences, Monsieur le Président du FASO, Mesdames, Messieurs les ministres, Madame Franny Lottier, Excellences, Mesdames, Messieurs les ambassadeurs plénipotentiaires, bienvenue à Tunis. La réunion de ce matin, réunion du Conseil des gouverneurs de l'ACBF, notre fondation, ainsi que ce forum de haut niveau, nous donne l'occasion ensemble d'examiner la problématique des capacités en général en Afrique et dans les pays post-conflit en particulier. Surtout à ce moment même où notre fondation, l'ACBF, célèbre 20 ans depuis sa naissance. Je voudrais saluer la présence de son Excellence le Président Blaise Compaoré. Merci, Votre Excellence, d'être parmi nous ce matin. Merci au ministre Anastase Murekezi, envoyé spécial du président Kagame du Rwanda, ainsi que la présidente du Libéria qui se joignent à nous par vidéo. Merci à vous tous, ministres et plénipotentiaires, d'être parmi nous ce matin. Permettez-moi d'adresser mes plus vives félicitations au Dr Franny Lottier pour sa récente nomination en qualité du secrétaire exécutif de l'ACBF. Tous nos vœux de succès vous accompagnent dans vos nouvelles fonctions. Je ne doute pas un instant que grâce à votre riche expérience, acquise dans beaucoup d'institutions, secteur privé, la Banque mondiale, vous aidez là beaucoup à hisser notre organisation vers de nouveaux sommets de performance et d'efficacité. Je voudrais enfin dire toute notre gratitude au gouvernement et au peuple tunisien pour avoir accepté d'accueillir cette importante rencontre. Notre continent, l'Afrique, comme l'Europe et l'Asie dans son temps, a beaucoup souffert de conflits, générateurs de morts, de réfugiés, des déplacés, des misères, mais surtout destructeurs de notre potentiel économique, de nos capacités de gestion, capacité de développer notre continent. C'est le lieu de saluer ici le travail accompli par nos dirigeants africains, en vue d'étendre des foyers de conflit sur le continent. Monsieur le Président Blaise Compaoré, vous avez été exemplaire à cet égard, que ce soit en Côte d'Ivoire, au Togo, en Guinée, dans la région d'Israël et dans beaucoup de régions africaines, vous avez beaucoup œuvré pour ramener la paix dans notre continent. L'Afrique, vous serez profondément redevable pour le talent, les efforts et l'imagination déployés malgré vos obligations nationales et internationales. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to dealing with post-conflict countries and national reconstruction, a lot has been said. Capacity building at the national level in normal times is already a very big challenge, but it is truly a mammoth task in post-conflict situations. Just look at what is happening in places like Afghanistan and Haiti. I'm told, I don't know if that is correct, that today we have got about 14,000 NGOs in Haiti because the state machinery has almost but collapsed. I know all these are well-meaning people, but you can imagine the nature of the task. Now, while the conflicts have negative consequences for any one country, they also have very large spillover effects on the neighborhood. Displaced people, refugees, cross-country insecurity, and rapid spread of communicable diseases. This is why, at the bank, we take a regional approach to dealing with post-conflict countries. Since 3 years ago, the bank has put in place a fragile state facility. I fully understand the controversies around the concept of a fragile state. But for the moment, for operational purposes, we are guided by the OECD definition, imperfect as it is. The facility basically does 3 things: reconstruction, capacity building, and helping to settle debt arrears. We strive as much as we can to strengthen the capacity of states rather than attempt to bypass them to fulfill their core functions, a prerequisite for sustainable recovery. We believe this is so critical because far too often, international aid is fragmented, disjointed, and with multiple agendas, which delays the ability of the state to fulfill its sovereign functions. Far too often, too, the pressure for quick results has led to searches for alternative sources of service provision bypassing the state. I know there are many and wide-ranging views on the issue of how to build capacity for the country coming out of conflicts. I particularly know there are a lot of views on the role of budget support. But I truly believe that one of the most effective ways of supporting a country out of conflict is through budget support, accompanied, of course, by fairly straightforward safeguards as long as there is political buy-in. Capacity cannot come on day one. Capacity has to be built. But any attempt to bypass the state, to try to help using other channels, is doomed to failure from day one. We talk a lot about capacity for the public sector. But of course, there is the private sector, which far often struggles even amidst a conflict. It is very important that as we rebuild the capacity, we think about the private sector as well and civil society. This group of countries does not call for a one-off response. There is no tailored solution. It has to be adjusted for every country's circumstances. Here in the bank, we are learning as we go. The experience so far, whether in Liberia, Sierra Leone, the Congo, DRC, Central African Republic, Togo, the Comoros, is quite encouraging. And we will draw on this experience as we try to support Zimbabwe, Somalia, and the Sudan. Just 2 days ago, I was in Nairobi, and I met the Prime Minister of the Transitional Government of Somalia. This is what he said to me. We're trying to put together a budget in Somalia, that is, of $120 million. We're only able to raise $25 million. The rest of the money, we're not able to collect. We don't have the capacity. The central bank is not functioning. The Minister of Finance is all but a building. You can imagine the challenge they will face when they begin to rebuild that country once peace and stability has returned. We at the bank feel this is an important area for our institution, but we cannot respond to this demand alone. We need to build strong partnerships. And to this end, we believe the ACBF is a primary partner. I'm very pleased at the steps the new ACBF management has taken to rebuild the foundation. I salute you, Franny, for the work you are doing. I salute the increased interest by African countries to join and contribute to the financing of the organization. That is truly ownership at its best. Let me end my remarks by expressing my appreciation to you again, Mr. President, for being with us, for you ministers for being here, and for the ACBF for organizing this event. And as I thank you very much, James, for accepting to moderate this event. I look forward to this discussion this morning and to the outcome of this conference. Thank you very much, and have a good morning.